In this video, we can learn how to set up Raspberry Pi in headless mode. If you don't know what is headless mode, it is setting up the Raspberry Pi without monitor, keyboard and mouse. Instead, we use the laptop or PC's monitor, keyboard and mouse for the Raspberry Pi. So let's get started. First of all, we want to download the Raspberry Pi imager. Open your favorite browser and search for Raspberry Pi OS download. Click the first link. Here you can see the imager for different operating systems. Click the download for Windows, and here we can see the downloading file. Now open the folder in which the imager file is downloaded and run it. Click on install. Now click finish. Now open the Raspberry Pi imager software and select the OS. Here we can see different OS, and I am going to choose the first one, which is the recommended one, and choose the USB device and click on write and select yes. Now open the file explorer and click on the booted SD card. Now we have to create two text files. The first file is an empty file named ssh. And then we want to create a text file named wpa-supplicant.conf. Now open the wpa-supplicant.conf file and paste the lines that are shown in the screen. Here replace IN with your country code and your SSID and your password with your SSID and password of the access point or router. Save the file and close it. Now eject the SD card. We want to install two softwares named PuTTY and BNC Viewer. The browser and search for PuTTY download. Click on the first link and then click on here, and now we can download the 64-bit Windows installer file and run it and install it. Now search for VNC Viewer download. Click on the first link and select your operating system and then download the file and install it. Now insert the SD card on the Raspberry Pi and power it. Now open the PuTTY software and in the host name write Raspberry Pi and click on open. And it shows us a warning and click yes and login at Pi. It is the default login address and the password is Raspberry. Now we want to enable the VNC viewer. So configure the Raspberry Pi with the sudo raspi-config command. Here we can see the interfacing options VNC viewer. Now enable the VNC viewer and finish. update the Raspberry Pi with the sudo apt-get update command. And upgrade it with sudo apt-get upgrade command. Now type the command ifconfig. It will show all the wireless extensions, and in the WLAN 0, the second line inet, we can see the IP address. Copy the IP address and open the VNC viewer. In the search bar, paste the IP address and click enter. It shows for a warning, click continue. It asks for username and password, and the default username is Pi and the password is Raspberry. And click on OK. Now the Raspberry Pi desktop gets opened. And finally, I am going to say how to shut down the Raspberry Pi properly. Shut down the Raspberry Pi with the sudo halt command.